Britain in the 1960s did not simply build cars. It built statements of power, wrapped in walnut and leather, gliding through London on a wave of quiet engineering pride. While the world watched the space race, Britain's wealthiest watched something closer to home, a battle for the title of true automotive luxury. Some cars whispered prestige, others demanded it, but one name towers over this entire story, so dominant that by the time we reach it, you'll understand why even Rolls-Royce itself had to compete against its own creation. Let's begin at number 10. Number 10. Daimler DS 420. It rarely appeared in showrooms. It appeared in motorcades. The Daimler DS 420 was built less for personal pride and more for state occasions, royal processions, and civic ceremony, a car designed to carry dignity rather than chase attention. Built on a stretched limousine platform with a 4.2-litre Jaguar-derived straight-six beneath its long bonnet, the DS 420 prioritized smoothness over speed, silence over spectacle. But here's what most people never noticed. This wasn't really competing with sports luxury cars at all. It was competing with tradition itself, continuing Daimler's century-old relationship with British royalty and ceremony. Council mayors, funeral processions, and palace events relied on its dignified presence well into the following decades. It lacked flash. It lacked urgency. Yet for sheer ceremonial gravity, nothing else on this list matched it. Would you have wanted to be driven in one, or would you rather have been behind the wheel yourself? Because what comes next put the owner firmly back in control. Number 9. Wolseley 6110. By the early 1960s, the Wolseley 6110 represented something quietly remarkable, affordable luxury for Britain's upper-middle class, built without the badge snobbery of its pricier rivals. Beneath its handsome grille sat a 2.6-litre six-cylinder engine, paired with leather seating, polished wood trim, and a driving experience that punched well above its modest price tag. Industry reviewers at the time noted something unexpected. Many owners cross-shopped it against cars costing significantly more, only to discover the Wolseley delivered comparable comfort for a fraction of the cost. That was the quiet secret of British luxury in this era. Refinement didn't always require royal pricing. But comfort alone wasn't enough to secure a place near the top of this list. The next car added something the Wolseley never attempted: genuine exclusivity, hand-finished by craftsmen rather than assembly lines. And that distinction would only become more dramatic as we climbed higher. Number 8. Vandenplas Princess Felitta R. Here is where things become interesting. The Vandenplas Princess Felitta R combined a Rolls-Royce built engine with British Motor Corporation engineering, an unusual pairing that created one of the decade's most distinctive luxury saloons. Its Felitta inline-six, sourced from Rolls-Royce's own production line, gave it a smoothness rivals struggled to match, while Vandenplas's coach-building heritage delivered cabins finished with genuine craftsmanship rather than mere upholstery. Picture this, a car bearing Rolls-Royce engineering, yet priced and badged entirely outside Rolls-Royce's own world. For Britain's professional class, it offered something rare: Rolls-Royce smoothness without Rolls-Royce visibility. Quietly wealthy buyers appreciated that distinction more than you might expect. Perhaps that's the kind of subtlety modern luxury has forgotten. But subtlety has limits. The next entry abandoned restraint entirely, choosing presence over discretion, and the difference would become impossible to ignore. Number 7. Jaguar Mark X. The Jaguar Mark X was enormous, even by 1960s standards, a wide, low, dramatically styled saloon that looked as though it belonged on a Hollywood boulevard rather than a British high street. Powered by Jaguar's formidable 3.8-litre, and later 4.2-litre, straight-six engine, it offered genuine performance alongside its size, a rare combination among full-size luxury cars of the era. Independent rear suspension, borrowed from Jaguar's E-Type program, gave it handling that startled drivers expecting typical limousine vagueness. Surprisingly, despite its scale and ambition, the Mark X never quite captured the prestige Jaguar hoped for, overshadowed by flashier rivals and its own successor. Yet today, enthusiasts regard it as one of the most underrated luxury saloons Britain ever built. If you think the Mark X felt special, the next car on our list approached luxury from an entirely different philosophy, one built on heritage rather than horsepower. Number 6. Alvis TE21. Alvis never built cars for the masses, and the TE21 made no apologies for that. hand-assembled in small numbers, finished with traditional British coach building techniques, and powered by a refined 3-litre straight-six, the TE21 represented old-world exclusivity at a time when mass production was reshaping the industry around it. Many TE21s were bodied by Parkward, giving each car a bespoke quality that larger manufacturers simply couldn't replicate at scale. Here's the open loop worth holding onto. Alvis was already quietly preparing to exit car production entirely by the decade's end, making every surviving TE21 a relic of a vanishing era of craftsmanship. Owners often described the experience not as driving, but as being chauffeured by the car itself. Can you imagine arriving at a 1960s gala in something this rare? Because rarity alone wasn't the ultimate luxury currency of this decade. The next car proved that royal pedigree mattered just as much. Number 5. Daimler Sovereign. By the late 1960s, Daimler had become inseparable from Jaguar's engineering, yet the Sovereign carved its own identity through one unmistakable detail: Daimler's traditional fluted grille, a quiet symbol of distinction recognized instantly by Britain's social elite. Underneath, it shared Jaguar's refined 4.2-litre straight-six, delivering the same smooth power but wrapped in even more opulent trim, deeper carpets, and additional sound insulation that softened the cabin into near silence. For certain buyers, badge heritage mattered more than badge engineering ever could. Choosing a Daimler over an equivalent Jaguar became, for some, a deliberate statement, a preference for ceremony over performance branding. Many enthusiasts still debate whether the Sovereign deserved more recognition than it received. But heritage and silence weren't the only currencies of luxury in this decade. The next entry brought theatrical scale into the equation, and theatrical scale changed everything that followed. Number 4. Jaguar 420G. The Jaguar 420G stretched luxury into something almost architectural: long, wide, dramatically chromed, and unmistakably designed to dominate a driveway. Beneath its imposing bonnet sat the same dependable 4.2-litre straight-six found across Jaguar's range, but here it powered something considerably heavier, prioritizing presence over agility. Inside, deep leather seating and acres of polished wood created a cabin that felt closer to a private members club than an automobile. Interestingly, the 420G never matched the commercial success of smaller Jaguar saloons, often overshadowed by its own stablemates. Yet for buyers seeking sheer physical grandeur, nothing else in Jaguar's lineup came close. Would you have chosen scale over agility? Many buyers did. But scale alone still wasn't the final word in 1960s British luxury. The next car belonged to a different class entirely, one whose name alone signaled wealth before the engine even started. Number 3. Bentley T-Series. The Bentley T-Series occupied a curious position in 1960s luxury, mechanically near identical to its Rolls-Royce sibling, yet marketed toward buyers who wanted prestige without overt ostentation. Sharing the same 6.2-litre, later 6.75-litre V8, and the same engineering platform, the T-Series offered Rolls-Royce levels of refinement under a quieter badge. Industry observers noted something telling: many discreetly wealthy buyers, including business owners avoiding excessive public attention, preferred the Bentley precisely because it didn't announce itself the way a Rolls-Royce grille inevitably did. That distinction made the T-Series a favorite among Britain's understated elite. But here's the twist worth remembering: if a car built on Rolls-Royce engineering could still feel modest by comparison, what would a car have to do to actually outshine Rolls-Royce itself? The answer arrives in exactly 2 more entries, and it begins with the car wealthy Britain genuinely considered the standard everyone else chased. Number 2. Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow. Here it is, the car that defined what Rolls-Royce meant to an entire generation. Introduced in 1965, the Silver Shadow modernized the marque with monocoque construction, replacing the traditional separate chassis and ushering Rolls-Royce into a new engineering era. Its 6.75-litre V8 delivered effortless, near-silent power, while self-leveling suspension gave passengers a ride often described as floating rather than driving. For wealthy Britons, owning a Silver Shadow wasn't simply about transportation, it was a declaration of arrival, socially and financially. Production numbers dwarfed previous Rolls-Royce models, making the Silver Shadow the most successful Rolls-Royce of its time. And yet, despite everything it achieved, it was not actually the most exclusive vehicle to wear the Rolls-Royce name during this decade. One model existed above even this. Reserved not for the wealthy, but for the truly powerful. And that car claims our final spot. Number 1. Rolls-Royce Phantom V. This is why even Rolls-Royce had to compete against itself. While the silver shadow defined luxury for the wealthy, the Phantom V was reserved almost exclusively for heads of state, royalty, and figures of genuine global influence. Each Phantom V was individually coach-built, often by Mulliner Park Ward, meaning no two cars were truly identical, a level of bespoke craftsmanship the production line silver shadow could never replicate. Beneath its immense bodywork sat the same 6.75-litre V8, but here it powered a vehicle built purely for presence, privacy, and ceremonial weight. Its rear compartment alone often contained more handcrafted detail than entire smaller luxury cars combined. This was the car other Rolls-Royce models were measured against, not the other way around. In an industry built on Rolls-Royce's name, the Phantom V somehow made every other Rolls-Royce, and every car on this list, feel almost ordinary by comparison. 10 cars. 10 different definitions of British luxury. Some whispered prestige through silence and tradition. Others demanded attention through scale and theatre. But together, they tell the story of a decade when Britain still believed luxury meant craftsmanship, not just price, when wood was carved, not printed, and leather was stitched, not stamped. The Phantom V didn't just top this list, it revealed how high British engineering could reach when given no limits at all. Perhaps that's the kind of luxury the modern world has quietly lost. Which of these 10 would you have chosen to park in your own garage? Let us know in the comments below, and if you are new here, subscribe to Britain Rewind for more forgotten stories, remarkable machines, and moments that helped shape Britain's past.